Hey, welcome. I was sitting around this afternoon and I thought we weren't going to have shows this weekend, but had a long day of like not filling it up too much. And I thought I can do this. If a lot of the students out there had a long day and didn't have school today and were quarantined, we can pull this off. So we did, and we have some really good content tonight. I have three special guests. One is Chad Weaver. Chad's a senior at Grace Prep, and he's the host of the Quarantine Zone, the Grace Prep High School, our high school's show during the weeknights, a couple times a week. So he's on here as a co-host. And then we have Chris Hogue from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do the show tonight, because he's an old friend of mine from a long time ago. And he's from Broken Arrow and Tulsa, right, Chris?
Yeah, it's a suburb.
All right. And I just heard something about Chris that I wanted to have him share with you tonight. Chris, what's your occupation?
I'm a child therapist. So I get to work with kids anywhere from 2 to 22, and mostly kids with things like ADHD or autism and trauma, things like that.
How is that? Now, I guess you're not working with them right now, right? Because you work through the school, or do you work through an agency?
I work at a private office. And so right now the challenge is I don't get to see them too much. And so we're doing this. I'm set up on Zoom
really?
with my clients, and we just do Zoom or Microsoft Teams, something like that. And I do sessions over teleconference.
Okay, good. Hey, tell us what you're doing in the chat there. What did you guys do today? How'd you keep busy? I'm going to ask my next guest that. Peter Barker is with me tonight. Peter is my nephew. And so I called him up this afternoon and said, Peter, do you want to be on the show? He's got good insight, and we're trying to put some sons on here, not just fathers. Of course, if you're a father, you were also a son. So I guess that counts, but we're not counting that tonight. What did you do today, Peter?
Good. How are you?
Good. What did you do today?
Well, I basically just stayed in my room and built Legos all day. I can do that for days at a time and enjoy it.
Well, I think a lot of kids could do that. And so we had Legos last night. If you go back to episode 2, we had a segment on Legos that was really cool. And we're having a Lego challenge of send your pictures or videos in of the neat things you're building related to the show. And Chris, I'm following up with the segment tonight because Chris has a Lego challenge and adventure that he's doing, and we'll figure that out and talk about that a little bit later. I wanted us to open our Bibles first tonight, because I want to go through Luke 17, 11 to 19. If you have your Bibles, you can open them up. And while you get your Bibles, if you want a little chance to get there, I'm going to read down here. Who do we have on the chat right now? 16 comments. We have Layla's on. Layla Zengel, Chris, is on. Do you remember Layla Zengel?
I do.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to type out real quick. Layla! I pray for you all the time.
So we have some friends on there. Jonathan's on there. We have people from Rocco from Florida. Lots of neat things on there tonight. So in Luke, let's turn to Luke 17, 11 to 19. It's the story that you probably know about the 10 men with leprosy. And verse 11 says, now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. Because they couldn't go up to him, because they had to usually yell, unclean, unclean, because leprosy is very contagious. And so they couldn't get close to him, but they yelled from a distance. When he saw them, he said, go show yourselves to the priests. And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan, which were people that were looked down upon on that day. Jesus asked, were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? He has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner. Then he said to him, rise and go. Your faith has made you whole. Now, in the chat, we're going to take some time. What do you think is unique about the story? When you read the story, what do you think is unique about what's happening? Why do you think this is in the Bible? What do you think one of the things we're trying to learn through this passage? Let's put those in the chat there. Are we getting, do I see the chat? Do we have chats coming up? Let's see. All right. All right. Peter, what do you think about this passage in the Bible?
I find it neat and
example, and you didn't come back. But I was really so 90% of the people were ungrateful and 10% were grateful. And when I applied that to my own life, and if you apply it to your life, you want to ask yourself, how often am I grateful? What is the percentage that I'm grateful for the things around me? And I can go for a long time without really focusing on being thankful and having gratitude. And I was convicted to think, you know, when you look at the Bible and you think, oh, those people are so bad that they didn't believe or whatever, it's usually a little bit more complicated than that. Those people might have gone off and told their town. They might have told their town that Jesus had healed them, but they didn't come back. Who knows what the other side of the story is? But I have to apply that to my own life and think about, how grateful am I? How does gratitude work into my life? Gratitude is healthy. Gratitude helps our mental health. And we have to challenge ourselves, particularly during this time, to be grateful for what we do have and not what we're missing out on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you guys feel that you are grateful? Do you have times when you are able to say that and share that with others? Or do you feel that you're not always so grateful?
Oh, I probably could be more grateful than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I spent all this week actually talking with clients about thinking through what is good in your life right now, because everybody's stuck at home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly how things are going in PA. Oklahoma, we have shelter in place, or safer at home, I think is what they're calling it. It's basically shelter in place.
Okay.
So I've been home all week. Today we went out for a drive, and that was it. And it's wearing on people, and that kind of thing does. We're not used to it. It wears on people.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to help my clients refocus on what is good, what they're thankful for, has been part of my daily life. And yet I'm not sure that I'm really get it myself all the time. It's definitely a discipline that I have to put myself through.
Peter, what are some ways to show gratitude? What are some ways you can show gratitude in your life?
Well, there are a lot of ways that you can just simply show gratitude to people. Say someone holds a door for you or says a kind word. You can say thank you. Even if you're at school, when you're done with a class, you can say thank you to a teacher for teaching you. They put work into that. They helped you, even if you may not have wanted to be there that day. Nonetheless, they still put work into it. And whether you like it or not, it's for your good. So you can just say simple thank yous sometimes, and other times you could do something for them. You can do there's a lot of ways you can say thanks.
Yeah, and I want to pivot to like what it feels like to be thanked, right? Because it's funny, because I don't thank enough people. I'm not as grateful as I should be. But when I see the power of somebody being grateful or thanking or writing me a note, it's pretty amazing, the power of that. And when I taught the Grace Prep students, I thought about this. I thought, now this is just my own theory, okay? For fathers and sons out there, there are different ways to show that you're thankful. You can text somebody, and to me, that's like the lowest level of showing thanks. You can email them, and to me, that's the second lowest level because those are easy and they're not direct, and you can just kind of do that pretty easily. You can talk to them personally in words, and that's obviously really powerful. And there's another thing that's very powerful, and that's writing notes, writing thank you notes. It's amazing to me how few people write thank you notes, and I've been trying to do that better. But I realize how what a gift it is, and a surprise you get a thank you note in the mail or on your desk. They're very powerful, and they're going kind of going away. But I've encouraged people around me, the students, to write thank you notes, write Post-it notes. It's a great way for people that can keep that. I have some notes here that are in my Bible that I keep with me just because if I get discouraged, I see that. And so that's what I wanted to encourage people to today, is to be grateful and to show people around you, your mom or dad, your wife, what you're thankful for. Some of us have, my wife is, her love language, what she loves is words of encouragement. And that's not that doesn't matter to me as much. And so if I can put a Post-it note on the mirror in the bathroom or write a nice little note, it means a great deal to her. And I wonder in the chat, people that are outside, what has been memorable to you? What has been some times in your life when you've been thanked or you've thanked somebody and you could see what an impact that has had in their life? Chad, we've been talking about this at Grace Prep. Have you had an opportunity to put this in play or just to try to do this?
Yeah, honestly, with this school year and everything, a lot of pressure with senior year and college decision coming up, and it's been great because this time has given me a chance to really thank my parents and to return the courtesy to them because they've just been supportive this entire time, been there through all the different times where I was struggling or I was down on myself, and so it's been really great kind of going to them and getting to say thank you, not just say it, but also show it as well, show how thankful I am, because words are great, but I'm one of those people that you can't just use words, you also have to live it out as well. So it's been a great opportunity to really show it to them.
Yeah. There's a definition of gratitude I want to introduce you to tonight, and it's a simple one. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. And it sparks contentment. There's a few verses I want to share with you just real quickly about the power of gratitude on your health. And I think Chris he can address this a little bit, but in Proverbs 15:4, it says, gentle words bring life and health. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. Good, healthy words. Proverbs 16:24, kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. And we've been finding out in science that that's true. And Proverbs 18:4, a person's words can be life-giving water. Words of true wisdom are as refreshing as a bubbling brook. I've written those inside my Bible because I can tend to be negative, and that I think is a thing I have to try to overcome. But I read these and think about how much healthy thoughts and things are important. And Chris, you were talking to me about that tonight.
Yeah. First of all, I said I've been teaching this in session all week long. I don't do these things. I don't tell people to do it unless I have some science to back it up with. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what people come to me is for the science. And so what we have seen is that the more you think about good things, the more you think about the things that make you happy, endorphins get released in your brain again. The endorphins make you feel good, basically, just to put it simply. So even the memory of a good time is enough to make you feel happy again. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The memory of what you felt when you first experienced, being able to get, something as trivial as, food or a new car or whatever. If those bring good memories, then great. Experiences, especially remembering that you had people to go be with.
Mhm.
And you got to do some really fun stuff.
Those are important words, and I appreciate that. It was good that you were on tonight. I know that went longer than we normally do, but I think it's important at this time to be thankful for what we have, because those healthy words are going to keep us up and mentally healthy in a time when the house could seem very small, and you're with your brothers and sisters, your mom or dad, your sons and daughters, and it might need some extra patience and extra gratitude right now. Hey, we're going to pivot into something kind of fun. And the segue is that I am thankful for my health and for my eyes and my ears. And that's why we're going to do this tonight. We're going to play some things that are going to challenge you and see what you hear and what you see, and how we can talk about those tricks. I'm going to play, they call this the mosquito ringtone. And Noli's going to play it. And I want you to listen carefully. If you have earphones in, I'm not sure what that'll do, but you want to be careful there. So Noli, let's play the mosquito ringtone. Okay, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
You hear all of them?
I
Let's
could
play that.
hear
Let's play.
the last one.
What's that?
I could only hear that last one just faintly, so I guess I'm near 24.
Oh, really? Let's try it one more time. Let's try one more time, and let's play it again and see what happens. You can hear a little click. That's not the frequency. The funny thing is, tell me in the chat what you could hear, how old your ears are. Kind of a funny thing about this is that students were using this mosquito ringtone in school. And so they could hear them calling each other, but the teacher couldn't. I thought that was amazing science.
Creative.
Yeah, very creative. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So let us know how old your ears are there. We're gonna do something else that you might have seen, but it's always amazing to me. It's the Yanni and Laurel debate. Yanni and Laurel. This I don't quite understand, because I hear, when we were doing this in practice, I heard the complete opposite of everybody else. So let's play this. Do you hear Yanni or Laurel?
Laurel, 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 Laurel.
Okay, what did you guys hear?
Laurel.
Wow.
Laurel. I still heard Laurel.
I could make myself hear Laurel if I chose to, but I definitely could hear Yanni.
I could only hear, I forget what I heard now. What was I hearing? I was hearing Laurel. So you heard, who heard Laurel? You heard Yanni. You heard Laurel?
Laurel.
What? Let's try it again.
Laurel, 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 Laurel.
Okay, all right.
Laurel.
All right. It's Yanni. I was thinking about something. It's Yanni. I hear no Laurel at all. None. Just hear Yanni. So I was kind of looking at this, and I want Noli to play something else, our director back there, and hear what they're doing. It's a frequency thing. I don't quite understand all of it, but it depends what frequency you can hear. And they're going to change the pitch in this next segment, and you might be able to hear both words at different frequencies. So let's play that and see what happens.
Laurel, 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 Laurel.
Did you hear both?
I got Laurel only.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard Laurel the entire time.
I heard Yanni the entire time, except for like about 6 seconds in the last 2/3 of it. And on
Okay,
on
Chris, you'll be right.
Facebook, Andrea, your wife, Dree, heard Laurel the entire time. Only Laurel. Robbie, only Laurel. Eileen, only Laurel. Laurel, I think we have a bunch of young people out there. I think I'm the old codger in the group, but that's pretty interesting, isn't it? How we hear things differently. It makes me think that somebody can say something to you. Right now, it's not a frequency thing, but I do have learned that someone can say something to me and I can take it in the exact wrong way that they said it. Or particularly texting. If you text or email, how many times have you texted something or gotten a text and it was completely different than what you would have wanted to say to them? So that's kind of cool. And what I've determined is that we can be really grateful for our health and for the creativity that God has instilled in our world. And so part of that is just learning to be grateful for the things we have. Now, I want to pivot now to Chris, because I've been really thankful for his friendship over the years. Haven't seen him for a long time. But then, Chris, I heard you became a TV star. And
Very briefly.
In Tulsa. And you were on TV the other day. And can you tell us what's happening with that?
Yeah. So we were trying to figure out how do we get through the quarantine and have some fun with it. And so my son, I have a 7-year-old. Andrea and I have a 7-year-old named James, who is about the size of an 11-year-old. He's a big kid. But he decided that we should have a Lego challenge. So every day on Facebook, we built an animal or a building or a pizza. That was a piece of pizza was one of the days. And so we build ours, we've put it up on Facebook, and then we challenge everybody to send us their pictures or videos with their own creations from that day. And so, yeah, it's been really fun to see everybody and the creativity they've had, and lots of kids getting involved.
How's that sound, Peter?
I haven't seen it, but that sounds pretty good. That sounds like a good time.
Peter's a big Lego guy.
Yeah.
Dad, did you play with Legos when you were a kid?
Oh, definitely. I wasn't quite the builder, though. I built a house, and for some reason, it'd still fall over.
Nice. So what was the challenge today, Chris?
See, the challenge today was a mini house. So it's there's a square, you get a square about this big, and you have to have a street and a sidewalk, and then you can build your house any way you want to, and then you can stick them all together. It looks like a little neighborhood.
Oh, nice. Hey, maybe Dree could type some of the things in your wife could type some of the things in the chat for us after the show, some of the examples you have, because it'd be kind of cool. And I think a lot of our people would like to do that.
Yeah.
It's something you can do that everybody can participate in. And
we can link to it as well. If you want.
Okay. Yeah. Link to do you crown a winner?
We kind of just praise all of them.
Just show gratitude.
It's a participation deal.
Be thankful. That's good. That's probably good for the family in quarantine.
Well,
So,
people do vote for us, but so there are definitely winners here. Very competitive in this household. And apparently I just don't get to win ever.
Oh, so there's winners in the house, but not in the community.
Yeah, we don't vote on the kids who are sending stuff.
Can you show me an example of one that you did?
I can show you an example of something I built, but all of my Facebook posts are downstairs. So this is not one of the ones I put on my Facebook post. I chose to use another one. Let me see if I can get this.
Legos are huge, man.
Yeah. So.
Oh, look at that. Wow. That's sophisticated.
Oh,
You just knocked part of your.
Yeah, I just knocked part of it off.
Well, that's great. We're encouraging kids to send in their creations, the creative things they're doing in the quarantine, and we'll post some of those pictures to show them on the show. But I thought that was a really cool thing to talk about tonight. It's something you can do in your family with the things you have. And I learned something the other night on the Lego Masters show. Do you know what the plural of Lego is?
Lego.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I can't do it though. I can't say There are so many Lego over there. I just can't do it. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hey, we have one more thing just to close up today for your ears, a challenge for you. And it's called Rain or Bacon. Okay. You ever played Rain or Bacon? No. No.
I
You're gonna
have
play
before.
it tonight. You're gonna play it tonight. You have? Yes, you have. Right.
I
Okay.
have.
Noli, we're trying to figure out. Can you hear the difference between bacon and rain? Let's try that. Can you hear the difference? Anybody? Online, can they hear the difference? I couldn't hear the difference. I had a bunch of guesses, but I'm going to give people a little time to think about it. Let's hear it one more time. Ah, it's all bacon. It's all
That threw me off.
It's all bacon. Layla said 1 and 3 are bacon, but they're all. She said 1 and 3 are. 4 is bacon for sure. So that's it. You know, the kicker of tonight is this: we should all be grateful, particularly for bacon. Bacon is a good thing, right? You like
Amen.
bacon, Peter? Are we all in agreement on that?
Yes, bacon
Love
is
bacon.
wonderful.
I don't even have to go to the chat for that because I think we all like bacon. And so I want to thank you guys for being on tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'll figure something out. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.